this time. And 3,
I tried to, but I was just so talented.
I know, yeah, you tried to.
Just like intangible red flag territory. Like he's not saying anything
Oh,
specific,
interesting.
But like
Yeah.
just as he's talking, you're like, do not be in a room alone with this man.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, we can all love each other. No.
All right, great. Okay,
No.
great. This is great. What about him is an intangible red flag? Is it a way he appears, way he talks, hand gestures?
Do you know what the word intangible means?
All right, I'm gonna go have a piss.
Ashley, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. Bitches.
I went down on a juicy boozy, and
Uh-oh, got a fart, and this chair's gonna make it reverberate. Hey, wait!
John.
Hey!
Oh no! Oh no! Everybody else, hey!
Hey!
What's going on? I'm just waiting for music. I thought you were getting music. Oh, I thought you were just getting
how
music.
my penis gets born.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here's a shed.
the ice cream cones came with a little metal packet that is just full of sugar. It's just full of sugar to be poured into the cones.
I got what has the Japanese not gotten a hold of, perfected, and then when everyone was like, "You did it," they went, "And now we'll begin." And you're like, "No, you fixed it. It was fixed. Do not break it." They're like, no, we got to break this.
I still have some more questions.
Go ahead.
John Hastings is on America's Got Talent for 5 minutes, and now he's got houses in LA and London.
That's right.
Yeah.
You kept a house in London?
Yeah, I've kept a house in London.
Update, not sugar.
There's no fluid tasting enough to warrant sucking it out of him. Yeah. No, but did he do it when he was then in the band when they were the 4 Bee Gees that brief time before then his heart exploded?
Wow.
I'm not saying anything that didn't happen. That is what happened to him.
I'm a predator.
And it was going awesome. And we even started having drinks at a bar, and we each had girlfriends with us, whatever. We're having a great time until I got comfortable enough to go, hey, we share a birthday,
As
But what's more important than helping people's mental health?
Fuck you, John.
I'm just saying. Tom, you're a comedy fan.
Here's what happened. So I came up after she finished a couple times.
How did you
I'm not one's not enough.
What
you go for 2. That's how you start it out.
Smoother crunch.
And then oh Jesus, boom. And so so when I emerged, I went to kiss her, and she just grabbed my face and she sucked it all out of my beard.
So hurtful.
Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and Boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Hello. I can't hear you. Can anyone else hear you? Chat, let me know. I can't hear Ashley at all. I could hear the video. Chat. Is this me?
can you hear me now?
Hey, there we go. Good.
Muted my
Oh, I do have
sound
private
settings.
chat. Awesome.
Oh dear. Hello. This show is hanging together by a thread.
Yeah, we all moved and we're so tired.
We're all in very wonky time zones. Well, I'm exactly where I've always been. I'm very beige, I realize.
You don't have your normal purple hues.
Yeah, I usually have a floodlight behind me that lights up my room, and instead I have a massive printer.
A worthy
Um,
replacement.
I am in my dad's office.
Your dad has nothing on the walls of his. Is there anything in front of you?
There is stuff in the rest of the room. This is just like the wall behind him. He doesn't have anything, but also he kind of
Okay.
only moved into this recently.
Okay.
So it's all a bit all over the place. But he has shelves over there with all of his actually my degree is up over there.
Oh, nice.
No wait, that's his. Never mind. It looks exactly the same as my degree. Paint your dad a surprise wall mural. Well, this used to be my bedroom. And this
Oh
wall right
no.
here, this wall right here used to have a huge Pokemon painting on it.
Which
Like
ones?
it is
Was it like
under the layers of paint right there. I had I think it was Misty. Misty from
mm-hmm.
Pokemon was painted up
Yeah.
there with I think what was the little egg creature she had? And I think Pikachu was up there too. So Misty used to be up there.
Okay.
And I used to have a bunk bed right here, and we had bunk beds, but we had the bottom. They were bunk beds first, and then when we
Mm.
kind of grew up and had separate bedrooms, my mom turned it into I slept on the top, and then there was like a little den underneath. And
Oh,
she
nice.
handmade curtains to go around it.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool. I'm
How do
having
you?
such a trip down memory lane because I have a
I
load of
bet.
old toys to sort through.
Mm.
So they're all getting brought out. If you go onto my Twitter, you can see a whole thread of stuff that I've uncovered. Oh dear, what's
I
happened to
found myself
Chris?
playing with things that I haven't even seen in 15, 20 years.
I think I got some of that. I hope is it buffering for everybody? Oh dear. Is it
Oh, can you
me?
hear me?
Is it me that's frozen? It
No, I
could
think I
well
think it
be
was me
me.
because it looked like I dropped off my Wi-Fi,
Mhm.
and now I'm on my mobile.
Right. It's Chris.
I'm
Okay, cool.
outside.
I don't have to feel
Yeah.
bad then.
There's nowhere. This
So
house is so weird because there's no like tables in it. So there's sort of nowhere for me to set up my stuff. So I'm trying to figure out where I can do this. There's
okay.
like
Where are
a
you
counter.
staying just now? Is it at a
I'm
friend?
at
Oh, you said you're in a place with a friend.
I'm at an Airbnb with my buddy Mark,
Yes.
and so the place is cool. Like it's very strangely designed. Like right now I'm on a balcony.
Oh, Chris is gone.
Walls.
Oh, he's back immediately. That was very quick.
Oh, did that freeze too?
No, as in you
Oh.
fully dropped out of the show.
I got back onto the Wi-Fi. This is very strange.
This is very.
But yes,
This is
so like
touch and go, folks.
you see, like these are 4 5 foot tall fucking fences around me, and it said in all caps, "There is no smoking on the balcony outside the bedroom," which is
Okay.
annoying, but also means I'm smoking less, so it's for the best.
You're just eating a banana instead.
Mm-hmm.
Are they known to help nicotine cravings?
No, just tasty. I'm so tired. I've been like, so I moved a couple
Mhm.
days ago,
Yeah.
and that went pretty smooth, but it was a very long day. It was like a 6 a.m. start, and I got to bed at about 2 in the morning. And then yesterday I like did a bunch of admin in the morning, and then I went for like a 4-hour walk just to explore the city. And then I had 2 shows, and today I've just been dead. Just been in bed the whole time. And
You did shows the day after moving?
yeah,
Christ.
hell yeah. And it was
This
great.
is the level of tech issues we've come to expect with UTS. I mean, sure. You know, nobody's nobody's like leaving us for this reason. If you're here for this long, you've accepted that this is what we are.
That's right, Ida. I'm smoking the skins, baby. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
poor
no,
sleep,
so
Chris.
yeah, so I did 2 shows and they were really fun, and it was at the Comedy Bar, which is like a cool venue. And I saw like a shocking amount of people that I knew, considering I've never lived here.
Wow,
So that was great. It was like
that's
catching up with a
pretty
bunch of
cool.
old
Yeah.
friends, and yeah, it was like my buddy Christoph was there, and Noor, Mike. Oh my God, I can see his fucking face, and I can't. All I can think is Mike Ward, but it's not him.
You
Mike
know him
Wilmot,
so
Uncle Mike.
well.
Uncle Mike
Okay.
was there, and
I know. Do I know him?
he comes over to the UK a lot. He's like an older Canadian guy,
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious, just a killer.
I feel like I know him.
Yeah. So that was like, it was cool. I booked some more shows off the back of it, and a lot of people were like, "It's good to know you're in town. I'm going to be in touch." So that's cool.
That is
Um,
great.
but yeah, but then I woke up today and I was just like, I am fucked. And so I woke up at 4. Like I've been up and down, but I just woke
Okay.
up at a nap at 4 and looked and was like, going to go back to sleep. And I was like, oh, it's fucking Sunday. And so I just went on like a 25-minute walk around my neighborhood just to get some blood flowing, got a banana, got a pot of
Yeah.
coffee. I will be awake for this whole podcast.
I mean, I'm not convinced. He says with his eyes drooping shut already.
Mhm.
Oh, you couldn't even give me a full response there. That's great.
Oh, I had banana in my mouth. It's
Sure,
rude.
sure. Well, that's great that you're in Toronto now.
Mhm.
The move is complete. I am in Ireland, which I've made clear by the fact that I'm in my dad's office.
Mhm.
And it's lovely. I'm just walking dogs.
Nice.
That's all I'm doing. That's all I've done for the past. I didn't walk them yesterday, but every other day since I got here, I've just been walking the dogs, and I've been
Nice.
swimming. I've been
Out in the
sneaking
ocean?
into a private swimming pool without paying for it
Nice.
3 times this week, and
Nice.
I'm gonna go in 3 times next week.
What's
It's
your
a
move? How do you
saltwater
sneak
swimming
into?
pool.
How do you sneak in? Is there like a
So
gap in the fence?
my parents are members,
Hmm.
and so I'm just booked in under my mom's name. But I mean, they know her, but she's friends with the woman behind the counter, so they're just kind of letting me in.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's what happens when your mother chit chats with everybody.
It makes a huge difference. We were talking about my
Yes.
buddy Eric the other day with my friend Mark that I'm staying with, and he has this way of like he was saying that they went to a hockey game in Dallas, and Eric just asked everyone, he's like, "Stay here, I'll be back in 10 minutes." And Eric just went to the customer service area of the stadium and was like, "Hey, I'm here with a bunch of my friends. We're visiting from Canada. We want to make this like a special night. I don't know if there's anything you could do for us." And the people always, this isn't the only time he's done it, they always go like, "Oh yeah, for sure." And they give him like lower bowl tickets. One time
Wow.
they were like, "Do you want to be the on ice entertainment in between periods?" And they just got to go and play musical chairs in the middle of the stadium in front of everybody.
Oh, that's
And
so funny.
yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff like it where it's like if you're just like nice and talk to people, a lot of the time they'll be like, "Hell yeah, go for it. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it."
I'm not bad at that, to be fair. I used to, even when I was just a volunteer before I fully worked for the festival, I used to always be able to get loads of friends into the after party, the Cat Laughs.
Mhm.
And so every year people were just like, I'm buying your drinks, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get you in. I made friends with
Nice.
the security guy because it's the same security guy every year. And then I also made friends with like all of the management at the festival. So every time, even if the security guy's like, look, I really can't let them in this time. And I'm like, sure, I'm going to go talk to the venue manager. And he's like, all right. And I'll go talk to the venue manager. And she's like, yeah, let them in. And it's great.
Nice.
Yeah,
I remember
I'm
it.
pretty okay at getting into places.
I've had moments, and I might have told this on the podcast before. I can't remember, but I remember the first time I went to Glastonbury. I was when I go, I work for that halloumi stand, and we always get there a few days early so we can set up the
Sorry,
store.
circle back and explain a
Mhm.
halloumi stand.
We just sell halloumi. Everyone else is selling burgers and stuff, so we just sell halloumi
It's
wraps. So it's like a pita with
just halloumi.
with like some salads and stuff in it, and then we do deep fried halloumi, and I think like char grilled halloumi, and then we serve it with different sauces, and people wait for hours.
Wow.
We
I love that
are,
you
I
were
think we
just
sold
like,
a
I just go
metric
and work
ton.
for that halloumi stand, as if you had mentioned this before or explained what it was.
Oh, I
As
just
if it
assumed that
was
I
just
had.
canon information about you. No, I've never heard about the halloumi stand.
That's shocking. That's genuinely shocking. I can't believe that hasn't come up. I've been working for him for years because it's all guys that I worked in a nightclub with in Brighton 20 years ago.
Okay.
And so like they're really old friends. We all just go, we all get very drunk. They do a bunch of drugs that I don't do. And we just dance and sell so much cheese. Like it was a metric ton the last time. We sold literally a ton of halloumi in
Wow.
4 days.
Oh my
The
Christ.
sales are through the roof.
That is an insane amount of halloumi.
It was so much halloumi, and we're right next to the pyramid stage, which is like the main stage. So because we've been there for so long, we've got like systems in place now where there's basically a viewing platform for the headliners for us that we've set up that's on top of our cheese cooler, which is just a huge fucking like storage container that's refrigerated, which you don't need to refrigerate halloumi, but the festival's like got to be refrigerated. Fine. Yeah, so like that's where I watched Beyonce. Watched Elvis Costello from there. It's great.
Oh my days. That's mad. I'm constipated thinking about it, but that's great.
It means a lot to people. They come back every year. Like it's very important to them. It's really funny. But yeah, so the first year that I went, my buddy Kenny and we were trying to figure out where to camp, and we ended up just camping accidentally in like the VIP area because security wasn't really around because we got there 2 days before it started, so everything's just kind of loosey goosey.
Right.
And then every day we had to bribe our way in to see our tent. And we got to the point where we got on such good terms with the security guys that worked there. Like we brought them each cases of beer, and we talked to them for a little while. And then they just got us the wristbands we needed. So they're like, just so you guys don't have any hassle, don't worry about it. And so we could just go everywhere in Glastonbury. It was amazing. It was
amazing.
Just another testament of like, they're just guys with a job. They're not guarding the president, you know?
Yeah, this is the show title, I'm sure. I was going to circle back to Kimmers. Thank you very much. I've been putting a lot of Ireland on my Instagram stories. And I'm usually very self-conscious about posting a lot on social media, but it's literally just pictures of dogs and woodlands. So I'm just like, if people aren't here for this, then what are they here for?
Yeah.
This is all Instagram is for, as far as I'm concerned.
How are your dogs? Are they happy to see you?
They're okay. I will put in a tiny little disclaimer. If they start barking, I have to go and check on them.
All right.
That just, I don't trust them, but I love them. But they're also very persistent. Each one of them barks for different reasons. So Elsa barks when she's stressed.
Okay.
And she barks a lot. She has the loudest, deepest bark, and it's quite scary if you don't know her, but she doesn't, there's no bite to it. She just barks when she gets anxious or stressed. So if a car drives past, that's her, she's gone. And so that is fine. If she's barking, there's usually a reason, but it does take a while to calm her down, so I have to go and check on her. Odie will bark for food. He just barks when he wants food. Now, Elsa has a bark collar, so if we're putting her out and we don't want her to start barking, we put a collar on her and it stops her from barking. It's not a shock collar as such. It's like a kind of rough vibration. It doesn't really hurt her. It just makes her stop barking, which kind of helps her as much as it helps us, because she works herself up. She gets like more stressed if she starts barking and doesn't know how to stop.
Oh, odd.
But we tried to train Odie on the bark collar. And he basically learned that the collar will let you bark once it lets you bark once, and then it emits a little kind of sound to let you know to stop barking. And then if you
Mm.
bark again, it will kind of shock you or kind of vibrate or whatever.
Okay.
So he learned that he could bark once, leave it a minute, and then bark again. So he just has the most annoying bark. He just food.
Staccato, yeah.
Food. And now he hasn't had the collar on him in years because we realized it doesn't work. But
Mm.
he just keeps barking. And I will say this, he's a golden retriever. Golden retrievers are too clever for their own good. The
Mm.
last one we had because we have a fence collar for them as well, which means they don't go outside the boundary.
Okay, yeah.
We only use it to train them. Once they're trained, they kind of don't need to go outside it. But the other retriever that we had, he learned that if he wanted to leave the boundary and he had the collar on, he just had to run really fast past the gate. If he ran fast enough, it wouldn't shock him. They're too clever.
That's great.
And I remember hearing about somebody else's dog who realized that he could get close enough to the boundary for it to start beeping, and if he just
Mhm.
stood there for a little bit too long, because these collars work on like they only need to do something for brief periods, so the battery generally isn't engaged very much. But
Mm.
he realized that if he stood next to it, the beeping would run the battery down after a few minutes. And he could
Wow.
just wander through.
Oh my god.
It's insane. Okay, I will say one of them is barking right now.
No, he heard you talking.
That's Elsa. So I'm actually gonna have to go and get her. I don't know if you guys can
All
hear
right.
that. Probably not, though.
No. No.
It's a fairly dense house. Are you okay to hold the fort for
Yeah,
like
I'll be
2
all right.
minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll be back in a sec.
All right.
Ask Chris questions.
Hi. Whoa, Jesus, that's so big. Hey, yeah, so John's not here because we're still working out time zones and stuff. He's in Australia doing Melbourne right now. And so it was Ashley and I, which sucks. I was actually gonna cop out of today. But here we are. Now it's just me. I got fucked. You guys got any questions? Any Toronto stuff? We might all be ministers when you get back, but he'll hold down the fort. Yes, Richard. Has anyone done anything with their minister stuff? I haven't. I carry it around just in case I need to clean up my image in front of some figures of authority. But I haven't done anything with it yet. Man, Toronto is big, and there's this. Okay, so you guys are in all kinds of cities. This is the only city I've ever been in where downtown there are full detached houses. So many just homes, which I don't think I've ever seen in a major city before. And people were complaining. I'm complaining about it's like trying to find a place out here is a nightmare. And then I got here and I went, oh, that's why. It's because you don't have any goddamn apartment buildings. It's all fucking homes. Toronto's the home of the longest street in the world. That's right. I think that's the Danforth, which Drake raps about. Is the Stuffed Gorilla still outside the electronic shop? I have no idea. Was it Yonge Street? Oh, damn, cool. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what electronic shop. I've been here for 30, maybe 42 hours. It's good though. Comedy scene seems good. Saw some comics last night. Some of them were very funny. Some of them were not. Some of them were terrible. Saw my buddy Dylan Gott, friend of the show. Dylan Gott. He was out. That was good to see. Yeah, stupid zoning laws mean that's just about the only thing that can be built in a lot of places, despite them being really shit money space-wise and people wanting other things. That's insane. Hey, Cammy, how you doing? Store's on Queen Street somewhere. Okay, Queen Street. There's a lot of Queen Street, but if I see it, I promise I'll let you know. That's nuts, Tet. I can't believe that that's the case because
Okay.
it's absolutely ludicrous. Hey, what's going on? How's your
Well,
dog?
this is what has had to happen.
Yeah, stream dog, stream dog.
So
Make
this
yourself
is
full screen.
Dizzy.
The people want to see it. I can't do
think
it on my
Dizzy
phone.
has been on the show before. Hang on.
Yeah,
Full screen. There we go.
there
This
you
is
go.
Dizzy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see, but she has very milky eyes. She's pretty blind.
Aw.
Don't go all cute now. She is 13 years old. And she's very cute. So this is Dizzy. She is the last one. So the reason Dizzy barks, well, it's whenever she wants anything.
Fair enough. She's
So
blind.
just now, it's because she could get herself onto the couch, but couldn't get herself off the couch.
Ah.
So she was barking at me to get her down. And I didn't realize I had left the stool in the place for her to get up onto the couch. So that's why she was barking, but she was also finished eating something because she wouldn't eat earlier, even though she barked at me for her food earlier, but then she didn't want it. So she's very fussy. But yeah, she's just gonna have to sit here and behave for the rest of the show.
I believe in her.
Yeah,
Sweet little blind
she's
dog.
generally pretty good. You're pretty good, aren't you? You just can't really do much for yourself. She really can't do very much by herself. I feel like I should adjust my camera angle so that you can see her on my lap. Hang
People
on,
would love
okay.
that. Give the people what they want, except the podcast
This is
listeners. They can't see a damn
Yeah,
thing.
fuck the podcast listeners.
Hey, podcast listeners.
Okay, podcast listeners, you're missing a
Subscribe, rate
dog.
it. There's a whole
You're
dog right
missing
there.
a
It's a
dog.
You're too good for a blind dog, podcast listeners. Jesus, monsters.
Oh, hang on, it's not quite. Okay, I'm really concerned. I'm gonna show off some like important documents in the background that for my dad. I turned over all of these ones so that they were like facing downwards because I don't know
Smart.
what they are.
That's counter espionage 101.
Yes, because I'm allowed to dox some people, but my dad is not one of them.
I love how the number of photos that come out where it's like, it turns out that just a very important document was just on a desk during a press photo. It's like, guys, come on now. You're not filling us with confidence.
Yeah. What did you talk about while I was gone seeing to the dog?
Oh no, I was just talking about it's weird that Toronto's the only city that I've been to where like in the downtown core, there's houses, full detached homes. And that's
How does
most
that
of them.
work?
There's almost no apartment buildings compared to other cities.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. It's so odd. And it wasn't like, because I was looking for apartments out here, right, when I was in BC, and it's so expensive and like not a lot of opportunities. But I was like, why is that? And then when I was walking around, I was like, oh, this is why. It's because you think it's the 70s. Build a goddamn apartment building and let us live, man. There is no
Maybe
supply.
it would bring the rent prices down.
It absolutely would. There'd be so many more places to live.
Oh dear. Oh no. I've never been to Toronto. I've never been to Canada. But I would like to go. I have a friend who lives in Toronto. Now I have two friends that live in Toronto. So I need to go there.
I just found out today that one of my old friends lives down the street from this Airbnb. She's 2 blocks away.
That's mad.
Yeah, I sent her a message and it was like, well, we'll try to figure out a place on Tuesday. And I was like, you're the local, so you pick the place. And she goes, where do you live? And I sent her the address and she just sent me a screenshot of Google Maps. I'm a 7-minute walk from her house.
I had that exact thing when I moved to Glasgow with a friend. They just sent me, I said my address and they sent me back a screenshot of Google Maps and it was 3 minutes. Yeah. You're going to get annoyed at me, aren't you? She's going to get annoyed because she can't lie down on... Okay, what if I hold you like that? Okay, that's better.
There we go. We got some snuggles.
We got some snuggles going on, exactly. She is all about cuddles. She sleeps in the bed with me.
Okay.
And the whole night she will, it's amazing. Like, she's so tiny, and I'm in a big king size bed. I'm sleeping in my parents' bed at the moment because
Mhm.
they're away. Why not?
Yeah.
And she will nudge herself into my back. Like, she has to be making body contact at all times. So
Mhm.
she wriggles herself into my back, and through the night she'll just keep wriggling and like push me over to the edge of the bed. And I'm like, I wake up almost falling off the bed, and there's this tiny little dog has taken up the whole rest of a king size bed.
Hi, I'm Ashley Manning, and I'm bullied by an old blind dog.
That's exactly. Can you spin around on that chair and say, "We meet again, Mr. Bond"? I don't think
Yeah,
this dog can pull that off.
I think you
Look at
I
her.
think you can do it. All you need is half, and then you just stroke the head. You just slowly stroke the head. There you go. But you got to turn around. You got to turn to face us first.
Oh, I'll pull my mic though. Hang on.
I think you'll be all right. Your ear doesn't
gonna-
move much.
Okay.
You're
yes.
good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect.
I
You
saw
didn't say the
myself.
line.
I saw myself, and I felt too silly.
Do it again. Start it again.
Okay. I'll never be an actor. Okay, here we go. We meet again, Mr. Betts. I improvised. I don't know how good it was. It's really warm in this office. Christ. Okay, that film would
Yeah,
be a
Richard's
lot
right.
more adorable if that dog was in it.
It would have been so hard to
Yes.
take Blofeld seriously if he's just got this sweet little dog in his. We meet again.
I'm-
Can I offer you some refreshments? It's a pleasure to see you.
It would suit informant slut. What was it? Blowjob Feld.
Yeah, that was a good memory.
Yes, that was still, I think, one of my favorite shows that we've done.
That was so silly. That was so
It
good.
was so silly.
I can't believe he wrote it. He really did it. He really
I know.
did it.
I really
Yeah.
like, people say they're going to do things a lot,
Mm,
creatively, and it never happens. But
mm.
he really did it.
Will did it. Do we have any updates on what is probably wrong with him now? I feel like every time we hear from Will, he's fallen over or he broke something. I think he sat on his glasses recently.
He had, yes. So I actually keep meaning to message him about that because he lost his good glasses at Christmas and now he's just sat on his pair of glasses. So I'm wondering how he's making his way through the world. We should get him on soon to clarify. Oh dear. I've
Oh,
listened to
that's
the podcast
nice.
so
Cameron
many
has
times
listened
it
to that
never gets
podcast.
old.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it is. If you were new to the show and you kind of wanted to get like a vibe straight off the bat without going back to episode 1 or something, because that would be insane.
Yeah.
I would recommend to anybody to go and listen to that Informant Slut show because it's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
That was a long one though, right? Wasn't that like one of the 8 hours or something?
It was 4 hours.
Was it only
I think.
4? Oh, okay.
Oh,
But
maybe
yeah, it's
it
in there.
was longer.
I think it was one of our mega streams,
I genuinely do not remember.
but it's in there, guys. So give it a listen. It's right near the end. It's like the last hour probably. So like a
Yeah.
normal episode, but just us reading a script written by Will Duggan, and he did a great job. And the
He did
cast
such
did
a
a
good
great
job.
job. Ashley Story, Mary-Elaine Robinson, great stuff.
Yeah,
Was
it
David
was really
was David
good.
Hoare in that one? David's been sending me
He
tracks from his new
was.
album.
David
It's going to be
Hoare
very good.
played. David Hoare played 2 different characters, I think, and one of them died.
It was a
Yeah,
normal length
he
show?
sent.
Oh, damn.
It was a normal length show. That's mad.
That's
I
crazy.
was
So it must have
thinking
been
it
just the whole
wasn't
2
a mega
hours.
stream though. That's insane. It was just a normal length show. it simultaneously seems like it would have been 8 hours and like it could have been half an hour, you know?
Yeah, I think the reading itself took a while, but
It did. It
good. It
couldn't have been exactly a normal length show. It probably ran over a bit.
Yeah, but it feels like an event. I'm surprised that that wasn't part of a bigger. But I'm glad.
Yes.
Oh, David Hoare played Greg Henchman and David the Hoare.
Yes. Yeah, he sent me something from his album as well. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty fun stuff. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah. So many fun albums happening.
Yay.
I totally seamlessly plugged your album there.
Yeah.
Didn't you
Keep
do
an eye
something
out.
afterwards too? Did we do something afterwards? I think we had a few drinks and stayed chatting. Maybe. I'm not entirely
Yeah,
certain.
that sounds likely. I honestly have no
Mhm.
memory. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I barely remember it.
Oh.
Um,
So how are you filling your days in Cork? You walk the dogs. You don't have
I
to
walk the dogs. I go swimming 3
go
times a
swimming.
week.
Yeah.
And at the moment I'm watching all of the Lord of the Rings.
Extended cuts. You've got the time.
I'm not doing the extended cuts. I probably should have now that in hindsight, that would have been the thing to do. I have very poor attention span though at the moment. I'm very distracted easily. And then I'm kind of just like attempting to plan my life a little bit. I'm doing a lot of research on work that I'd like to get into doing. And I'm really quite taken with the film stuff that I was doing there a while ago. I kind of want to keep going with that, but I just need to find the ways into some of the training courses and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And also, I'm just fucking tired. I'm just chilling out.
Yeah.
You know, and with the dogs, literally the day goes in so quickly because they're so demanding. Like, they're so needy.
Yeah.
The neediest dogs that have ever lived. Yeah, it's I'm keeping busy.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sharing this place with my friend, and right now he just passed his test to be a pilot for Air Canada again, because he was, and then the pandemic hit, and he was new to the company, so that they let him out because last in, first out. But he just passed it again, so he's got like a month of training to do, and then he moves out to Vancouver. But it's so fun because like I've just been napping all day, like I just haven't done anything. And I saw him when I came out because I wanted to tell him that I was going to do the podcast because I wasn't sure, how I was going to record it. And I was like, if you just hear me talking to nobody, I am talking to someone. I haven't lost my mind. There's something happening. And he looked so tired because he's just been learning about what to do if you run into a storm, like how to avoid storms.
That's so
and
stressful.
all the protocols and things like that. And I never thought about it, but of course it's like you go around, but you have a specific amount of fuel. So if that's a big ass storm, he was saying there's all these things of like, I mean, we could go to the right, but then we might just get sucked into this other storm. We could go to the left where there's more space, but that's a lot longer, and we might not have enough fuel to get where we need to go. And so it was like, oh damn, there's so much, the way people talk about flying a plane now is very much like, well, you just push a button and it takes off. You push a button and it lands. But there's so many decisions that you have to make while in the air.
Yeah.
And I found out last night. So we went out for drinks after and during my shows, and the number of things that he explained that airlines do that's just so they don't get sued. So like a lot of the things are like, the reason that they'll put on the seatbelt sign so often, even if the turbulence isn't that bad, is because just in case it is that bad, the first thing that the lawyer is going to ask is, was the seatbelt sign on?
Wow.
Because if it wasn't, then you got to do a lot of proving to say that you didn't have time to do that. It came out of nowhere. And that's all logs and logs and logs. But if you just go, yeah, it was on, then it's like, okay, then they basically can't sue you. That's on them. But so just little things like that, like, yeah, there's so much. Yeah, sometimes they do have to go through. I've been on those ones. Boom. That's I have I've had some that feeling of I thought we were gonna have it actually the other day. You know that thing where you're flying, and then all of a sudden you just feel it go poof, and
Yeah,
it
it's
feels
not
like you landed
nice.
on something, but you're in the sky, and that makes it worse.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Maybe you hit a bird. Oh no. The whole crash into the ocean and people surviving thing, that doesn't happen. Yeah, I think that's a myth. All right, if you hit the water, you're probably dead.
Yeah, I think they're
Um,
like, yeah, there may be a couple planes that you might be able to pull it off, but not like a 747. That shit is over.
yeah, but they like to give us hope.
Yeah. Yeah, well, panic's the worst thing, right? Panic's the worst
Yeah,
thing you can do in things like that. So if you give people a
panic is the
plan,
worst thing.
if you give people a plan and the impression that you know what you're doing, everyone calms down and they'll listen to what you're saying, and so you're
Yeah,
less likely to have pandemonium on your hands. Because as
yeah.
soon as people panic, then it's over. Then you can't. There's no
Yeah,
reasoning. People are just
you
gonna do
can't
random
do
shit.
anything. You're definitely not going to save anybody. Whereas the less people that panic, the more someone can survive.
Yeah.
Even if it was only one person. I mean, yeah, my folks, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but they were scuba divers, and
Mhm.
they so I grew up learning a lot about the ocean, and like the number one rule that they taught us from day one was do not panic. Like it was just they would chuck us into the water. They're just like, you can't panic, you need to keep your wits about you. If you
Yeah.
panic, you're going to drown, like that. And that's true. Uh, and I always remember my mother telling me a story. They always used to tell us this story about this guy called Blue Peter, and he was called Blue Peter because he nearly died at sea. And he, to the point where he turned completely blue. Um,
Ooh.
that was why they called him Blue Peter. My mom and my dad actually saved him. They brought him in and they had to give him full CPR, and my mother had to carry. She was like bringing air tanks down to
Wow.
like pump oxygen into him and all this sort of thing. So they like had to work to bring him back to life.
Mm.
And she always used to tell us that story, and then she'd be like, as soon as he started breathing again, I walked over to some rocks and I puked my ring up.
Mm-hmm.
But I stayed cool until then. And so she used to always tell us that. They were
Yeah,
pretty good
that's solid
for,
advice.
yeah, they were pretty good for teaching us things like that. I remember people used to always be surprised that our folks let us like help them cook, to the point where we were tiny little children with giant knives.
Mm-hmm.
And they would always be like, how do you let your child hold that big knife? And my mother's answer was always just like, I've told them it's very sharp.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, which she did. I remember being maybe 2 years old and her nearly screaming at me because I put my hand up while she was chopping vegetables.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and she lost it at me. She always was like, there's no messing around with knives, no messing around in the kitchen. And she showed me, she still has this like huge scar on her hand from when she put her hand under a knife when she was like 4.
Ugh.
So she was like physically able to go, this, do you want this?
Yeah.
um
We had
and
a teacher like that in
yeah,
our school who had burns all over his arms, and
yeah.
the school would just get him to go and talk to all of the classes at one point in the year, and he would just be like, "This is what happens when you put
Mhm.
butter on a burn." Like, Jesus Christ.
He put butter on a burn.
His mom did,
Oh my
because
god, just because it
that's
was
what she thought
cold.
would help. Yeah, just cold and
Yeah.
wet. But and didn't know any better, and it was probably some wives' tale that that's what you do if you have a burn is you put
Yeah.
butter on it. You know?
Oh, that's awful. That is
Yeah.
awful. I hate that so much.
So fucking wild. And he's like, "Yep,
That's
not butter."
grim.
Damn.
My my mom, like my mom grew up, a lot of her family worked in food and in kitchens. And so she just had all of these horror stories. And I remember my great grandmother, who I had the fortune of knowing until I was about 11. She was still alive until then. But I remember her story was that she worked in I want to say like some sort of butcher's. It was a place where they cut meat anyway. So they had those big meat saws, like the spinning wheel ones. And she was cleaning it. She was cleaning it, and I don't know what exactly happened, but it ended up that she like, okay, Dizzy, I'm sorry. She like sliced halfway like into her finger, like right
Lengthwise?
up into it, lengthways.
Ah, that's so much worse.
It's so much worse than it just coming clean off the top, but she went right up into it lengthways. But I mean, lengthways, she was able to put it back together, and she still had it at 93 years old. So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, Steve, you're right. John would be puking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't like that. I mean, we
John,
had cafeteria class, and it was like you would cook,
cafeteria
and then
class.
yeah, sort of. I don't know what it was. I never took it, but like some of my friends were in it, and so we had a cafeteria that sold hot food, and students ran the kitchen,
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
so you would learn how to cook all these different things, and it was shitty, but it was, it was cool credit, and you learn an important skill. And
Yeah.
and one of my friends slicing meat, same machine, just cut off the end of his finger, just gone.
Oh,
And another one of my buddies was in there and saw it happen, and he said there was this moment where Matt cut off sort of the end of his finger, and then froze just as he like just took account of what was going on. And then my friend said you could just see it, like he was like, nope, confirmed, I have cut off the end of my finger. And then chaos, just screaming and running, and didn't like, he was like 16, so he didn't even think to like put his finger in something to like stop. He was just waving it around like he was in a cartoon. Just blood everywhere.
It is. It's very traumatic when freak things happen. Like, we've had quite a few really, really frightening things like that. And it is mad how you just sort of weirdly cope, but your brain is also just not processing it. And there's also like the fear is so present, but you're not really acknowledging it for quite a while.
Yeah, I had a few of those when I was bartending. Like I cut off the end of one of my fingers. I think I told you about the wine glass that stabbed like down into my hand.
No, you never mentioned that.
Oh, really? So okay, so what happened was, excuse me, I was polishing a wine glass, but like an idiot, I was holding the flat part at the bottom of the stem. Never do that. Never do that when you're polishing glasses. Hold the actual glass in your hand and polish around. So I was polishing it, holding the end of the stem, and the bottom broke off, and then the stem, which was now a jagged piece of glass, just went right into my hand, just under this knuckle. I still have a scar there, and it went all the way down into my palm, straight down. So I just had like my hand and then a wine glass sticking out of it. It looked like it was like another finger. And I remember, I must have told this on here before, because I remember, because it turns into a sex story, and I was
I don't think we've heard this sex story either.
and so this is one thing that like I've learned about myself, which is kind of cool, is I do not panic. Like it's just not in me to do. And so I just went, okay. And I just slowly pulled it out, and then I covered the wound, and then whatever John is going, no, and doesn't know why.
Oh dear.
So I pulled it
That's
out and I
horrific.
covered it, but we didn't have, for some reason, our first aid kit. Someone else probably fucking cut themselves earlier. But our first aid kit didn't have what I needed, so I ended up taking blue roll, the big rolls of like blue paper that they have in bars and restaurants. I just wrapped it around my hand real tight,
Yeah.
and then put tape around that. And I was like, this will have to do. And this girl that I'd been dating, but like we'd broken up, but she like came back to just have like a little bit of fun. It was like her brother's birthday, and so she wanted to like skip his birthday party to have sex with me. And so she just watched this happen. She's like,
Oh my god.
she's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm totally fine. Don't worry about it." Like no tendons were cut. It was so lucky. It was so lucky. Like nothing. My hand works
So
fine.
lucky.
And and she goes, "All right, well, should we go upstairs?" I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Jesus, you
so
went
we
and
went.
had sex while your hand was wrapped in blue roll and probably still bleeding profusely.
Oh, it was absolutely bleeding profusely. And she
Christ,
goes,
Christopher.
and at one point she was like, she was really hot. And I remember at one point she was like, can you like not have the blue roll on your hand? I was like, it's either blue roll or blood everywhere. So that's up to you. She went, all
That
right, fine.
is insane. This story is horrible. That's just come up. Yes, meatballs. I was once in Glasgow Central Station, approaching the escalators, and a woman screamed. She had seen a man who had attempted to walk up the down escalator. As a result, he was rolling over and over, beating his head and arms and legs bloody. I froze for a good 10 seconds before hitting the escalator stop button. Oh my god.
Oh, damn.
That's horrific. I get the fear anytime I'm behind children on an escalator. I'm just like, I'm going to have to save this kid's life. I'm
Really?
just watching them so much. And I every time I go on an escalator, if there's kids around, I am looking at where the stop button is.
Wow. Have you ever like actually
No, I've never seen it happen.
had your mom instilled fear in you?
Whoa, that came through choppy. What was that?
Oh, sorry. Have you ever actually had to do that, or was that just like a fear that was instilled in you from a kid, from like an urban myth or something that you heard?
It's just a fear. I think it feels like something did happen, but I don't remember it. Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I've always just found them a bit scary.
Okay.
But I have very bad anxiety, so I find everything scary. And every time I'm at
Fair
the
enough.
top of the stairs, I get really bad intrusive thoughts. So every time I'm pretty much doing anything, I'm imagining a scenario where it's going to go horrifically wrong. So every time I'm at the top of the stairs, I see myself fall down the stairs. Like that's a
Okay.
vision that comes into my head. So
Okay,
I
then
think,
that makes sense then.
yeah.
Because
So I think that's what
I've
that
had
is.
2 separate people fall on me on the escalator
Really?
within a week. It was
Oh
weird. It had never happened to
God.
me before. Sorry about all the lighting changes. I'm coming inside,
That's okay.
and then adjusting where I'm sitting. But yeah, within 1 week, 2 separate women just fell, just down. Like no one pushed them. Nothing happened. They were just down. I remember the first one was this older Asian woman, and she was with her daughter, and the daughter, I guess, was like a step above the mom, and
Uh-huh.
this woman just fell, and I just caught her, and I helped her stand back up, which she put in no effort to do. She just let me do it to her. It was like that picture people take of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, where they're like,
Yeah.
It was that, but in real life, and I just put this woman back on her feet. And then she did not look at me. She did not thank me. She did not acknowledge that anything had happened. She just stood, kept facing up, and just went about her life.
That's ridiculous behavior.
It was very silly. Like I remember Sadaf was with me, and we just burst out laughing. We just couldn't believe, just could not believe. And like the reason that I mentioned that she was Asian is because we were trying to figure out is that like an Asian culture thing where you just keep moving forward? There's no, like, you don't have to acknowledge it. We're like, wait, is this just a weird
Maybe.
lady, or is this a culture that I don't know anything about? But the second time, like no joke, 5 days later, this this woman who, and this matters for the story, but she was very obese. She was like American obese.
Okay.
And so she fell and got like stuck as she fell back on the escalator, and she kept like screaming about her baby. Baby was fine,
Okay.
but the baby was in like a papoose kind of thing.
Okay.
And so I ran up just to hold her, just so that she wouldn't like roll down the escalator. And another woman ran up next to me and pulled the baby out of the papoose and sort of held the baby as it went up. She had a friend with her as well, who did not help at all. Also just stood above and was just like, man, that sucks. You just fell on the escalator. Just didn't say shit. This woman the whole time is just screaming while I'm trying to help her up. And then finally we get to the top. Again, no thank you. No acknowledgement. Just takes her baby. Doesn't thank the lady for saving her baby.
Oh my god.
And then just walks off. Just
People,
gone.
people, come on. If somebody helps you after you fall, you say thank you.
It was remarkable. Twice in 1 week. Never happened
It
before.
it
And
must
then
just
twice in 1
be
week.
like this culture of being so embarrassed that you need to just leave the situation as quickly as possible with as little interaction as possible.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be that, right? It's got to be some sort of
Must
shame
be.
thing.
That must be just an embarrassment thing, I'm sure of it.
Either that, or
That's
like you
mad.
imagine having like the kind of sense of entitlement that you assume that everywhere you fall, you basically crowd surf. Someone will
Yeah.
catch me. This is just living a trust fall life at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking
Oh, I
wild.
have to sneeze.
These dead peeps.
I'm okay.
That escalated quickly. Oh.
Oh my days. Have you ever fallen down the stairs?
Oh, for sure. A bunch of times. Yeah. The worst, I don't mind falling down the stairs because down is the way that you're supposed to fall. That's understandable. I have fallen
Uh-huh.
up the stairs, and that is mortifying.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
I hate
Um
falling up. Oh, God, I hate falling up the stairs. Just so like,
falling up the stairs is more embarrassing, but falling down the stairs is definitely scarier.
yeah, absolutely. Even like,
Yeah.
even that thing of you take a step and you think there's a step and you're at the end,
Yes.
and that abrupt, even that's like scary. But
Yeah.
that's fine. I'll get over that. I'll get over the bruises. But there's something about going for a step, clipping your toe, and just just down, and it's all corners. At least when you're falling down the stairs, there's flat surfaces. But if you fall up, it's
Yeah.
all corners. It's
It
just
is all corners.
it's like
That's
when you
true.
leave a parking lot in the wrong direction, and they got those spikes up that go down if you're driving in, but if you go out, it pops all your tires.
Oh god. Yeah.
I fucking hate falling up the stairs. It's the worst.
Yeah, I really hate when that sort of thing, when you're walking along a street and then there's just a rogue stone that has like a lip sticking up out of it and you
Mhm.
hit it with your toe or something. That always, like, I always feel that in my entire body,
Mhm.
It gets your whole chest and everything. It's not fun. Oh,
That's I like yeah, Boom Sigri says, yeah, it's a real driving into a lighthouse territory.
I forget that story, and every time I'm reminded of it, it's equally funny.
It's so funny.
And John's reaction to it is to this day that is one of my favorite clips. Is John reacting to Mary-Elaine driving into a lighthouse? Actually, it wasn't even the reaction of her driving into it. It was the reaction of her working in a lighthouse. He was just like, "What?" I've
How's
fallen
she
up
doing it?
concrete stairs while carrying my son when he was about 2, smashed my shin, but saved the boy. Oh
That's good,
dear.
Dad. That's good,
That is
Dad.
good. That is good.
Love those dad reflexes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole genre of YouTube video. Have you watched any of those? Dads just saving
No.
toddlers at the last second?
Oh my god, we should totally bring some of those up.
Definitely do. They are absolutely wild. You just end up being like, this is being a dad. Like they talk about the superhuman strength that moms get, like they'll lift a car kind of stuff. And dads just get like Spider-Man agility sometimes. Where you go, how did you do that?
That's crazy. Okay, let me see if I can get a good video of this. Super dads saving their kids' lives.
There you go.
Compilation 2018. Okay, we've got an ad, but that's fine. It's going to take me that long to bring up the screen.
Yeah, some of those are crazy. As Boom Sigri says, yeah, men that look like Homer Simpson turn into Usain Bolt. It's absolutely true. They go nuts. So Kirsten says, I don't like putting the light on in the hallway because spiders, damn. But it does cause issues when you have a black cat and it's night. Oh no.
Oh,
So you're not just
no.
falling upstairs, you're kicking your cat. That's-
Oh no. Dizzy, you're too hot. That's why you're getting all annoyed with me. Let me put you on the floor. Let's go sit on that. Yeah. Decent chance she's going to bark at me to go out.
Yeah,
Go
Steve,
sit
some
on
of them
that.
are crazy. Like I remember there's like a sledding one that stands out in my mind.
Okay.
Thankfully no kicking cats. No kicked cats. It's usually to avoid kicking the cat. Nice work, Kirsten. That's great.
Oh, we're sitting down,
Oh,
and oh, we're lying down, we're comfy, we're good.
yes. Just wanted the
Right.
company.
Yes. Oh, she doesn't like to be left alone at all. Right, let's see what these dads can do.
Oh, Landon, let's not start
Oh
off
dear,
by
this
falling
is
back down.
treacherous.
Let's walk back down, dude.
Okay, we're watching two.
And there it is.
What happened to the first one? Holy shit. This isn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
No, these ones aren't great, but there's gonna be some doozies. It's been so long since I've heard drum and bass. Whoa, what was that? Oh, he almost fell down that grate. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Can you mute it?
Yes, let's mute
'Cause I
it
hate
because
this
that
music.
is
Thank
terrible. I forgot
That's
that
funny,
muting
nice
it was an
catch.
option.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a kid running in a
Okay, we
parking
got a
lot. A
kid out in
dad
the road.
immediately is heading out, sees it.
Whoa.
Oh, right into the road.
Wow.
Jesus. Good dad. Not as close a call as I'm used to, though. We're gonna see some doozies.
No. I do want them to get slightly more
Oh,
aggressive. Oh my god. What?
Oh,
He kept her head from hitting the floor and then flipped
what a
over her. That's
save.
impressive. That's like Spider-Man, Dad.
That gymnastics dad was amazing. The way he like changed her flip as well.
Yeah. What's happening here? Whoa!
Whoa!
What?
Whoa!
What
Last
is that car
second,
doing?
grabs the kids. Car just went awry.
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
That's pretty...
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the one we came to see.
Oh, the swing just broke.
He just caught him.
Oh, baby down. There you go.
Oh,
Nice.
he got him. Nice catch.
Nice. Baby just went, I'm out of here. Fuck this.
He's kind of too young to be putting up on your shoulders anyway.
What a save.
Oh my god.
Good work.
The two of them.
That's teamwork. Just a couple of dads here. Hey. Oh, did I freeze or did the video freeze? I must have frozen.
back?
Hey, I'm back.
I think it was me.
Oh, was that you?
I think it might have been me.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
just
was
assumed it
me.
was me. The video froze. Cool. Oh, it was the Ash side. Oh well.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry about that. I closed the video, so it's gone. I closed
But
it
right though.
because it was stopping working. But yeah, that's mad. Have you ever like done something semi-impressive like that? Not necessarily saving a child's life, but reacted nice and quick.
Okay. I know that I have because I have memories of people around me going, "Oh," but I have
But you
no
don't
memory of
remember.
what it was. I have absolutely no memory of what it was.
That is very on brand for you. I feel like you could have saved a child's life and you just don't even remember.
Yeah, someone will just remind me. Remember that kid? I'll be like, "Oh yeah."
I remember I was in the bathrooms of Ox 184 in Edinburgh. And that's one of my favorite bars, by the way. I think it's a great bar.
Yeah, that's
And
where you put your moves on dudes.
but
That's where
aside from
you're.
that, I still think it's a great bar. They always have really good whiskey selection, and I just like
Mhm.
the space and the tables and whatnot. I just think it's a nice place, and it's always open really late, and they do food till 3 in the
Yeah,
morning. So,
that is great. I love that about that
um,
place.
it is a nice place to go. But I was in the bathrooms there once, and I had just washed my hands, and I was going over to dry my hands on the hand dryer. And just as I put my hands underneath it, the whole thing fell off the wall. And I just caught it in my arms. And I really was just like, I'm drunk enough that somebody's going to think I did this, and I'm
Mhm.
not going to be a convincing argument otherwise. So I was really worried that I was just going to get like thrown out because I'd broken the hand dryer or something. And I think I was like trying to put it back up onto the wall and stuff, but it wouldn't go. But it also wouldn't go down to the floor because it was cabled in.
Yep.
So I had to try and find a way to balance it up onto the sink and then just go down and tell the bar staff. But I was really just like, look, I'm really drunk and I swear this is what happened.
Please believe me.
Please believe me. Please don't throw me out. But there's a dangerous hand dryer in your bathroom.
It's out to
But
get us.
I just remember being astounded that I'd caught it and that I was just stood there. I stood there for a good few minutes trying to figure out what to do. Just
I wish I
holding,
thought.
and nobody came into the bathroom in that whole time that I was like, can anyone help me or see this? So I thought I imagined it, but I don't think I did.
I wish when you caught it, you just held it up into your chest and just gone, "Shh, it's okay.
That
It's
would have been
okay.
super weird.
It's okay to let go." It's not.
We have a
What's
story from
Kimmer saying there?
Kimmers. My dad seemingly saved me from going headfirst over a cliff when I was 3. We were having a day trip at a castle, and because I was such a wee skinny thing, I was able to get through the bars blocking off the sheer cliff on the other side. Oh my god.
Whoa.
That's terrifying. I bet they changed the bars after that.
Nah.
I mean, if they didn't, even if they just put like a perspex in between or around the bars or something.
Nah. There's no way. There's no way. That 10 years later, maybe nothing to do with Kimmers.
My
If she
my
died,
I,
yes.
yes, if she had died, yes.
Yeah.
I when I was less, I don't even think I was a year old. Yeah, I don't think I was quite a year old, but my mum was pregnant on my brother, and she was wheeling a trolley, like a shopping trolley, out of a supermarket in Dublin, and it had this little ramp thing down into the car park for the trolleys and buggies and stuff to go down. And so, but back then, trolleys only had 3 wheels.
Okay.
And so she was wheeling the trolley out. I was sat in the little baby seat thing, and the whole trolley fell off the ramp. And she managed to catch the trolley such that I wouldn't fall and hit my head.
Yeah.
But I did like I got hit all up the side of my body from the edge of the trolley, but
Mm.
I didn't get I didn't hit my head, and I'm evidently fine.
That's great.
But the security guards came out to help her, and one of them said something along the lines of, "Fuck's sake, can't believe this has happened again." And she went, "What?" And she sued. It was a Tesco. She sued Tesco over it, and got a settlement. And after that, they started bringing in four-wheeled trolleys. Now, I'm pretty
Wow.
sure there were incidents like that all over the place. So there was like a collection of reasons to get four-wheeled trolleys. But my mum was she fully went for them. And it was because the security guard said it had happened before. She was like, I definitely have legal grounds if this has happened before.
Wow.
The
No,
only
we've
reason she
decided
ended
it's
up,
your mom. Your mom's the reason that we have four-wheel trolleys now. That's it.
yes,
That's
my
canon.
mom
That's
was the
UTS
reason that
canon now.
four-wheel trolleys. But she was kind of winning the case, I think, but they went hardcore for her because they ended up getting a witness against her who was a woman that she went to the gym with, who apparently never liked her.
Mm.
And the woman was like, yeah, she's saying that she has a bad back from trying to catch the trolley, but she's in the gym lifting weights and she's in the gym all the time. And mom was just like, I was never trying to claim that I had a bad back. I was only trying to claim that my child's life was put in danger.
Wow.
But because this woman came forward as a witness, she took a settlement. Her solicitor advised her to take a settlement instead.
Jesus.
But it's mad. But they still went and brought in the four-wheel trolleys, so
That's good. Yeah.
yeah.
I
And I
remember.
think that might have
Oh,
been
sorry.
part of the settlement, was that they were gonna do something about it.
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's canon now. Your mom's
Yeah.
responsible for four-wheel trolleys. I remember a friend of mine saved me. I was we were climbing this rock face because we were teenagers,
Mhm.
and it was like right next to the ocean, but not quite. Like if I'd fallen, I wouldn't have fallen into the ocean. I would have fallen under rocks, and then my corpse would have drifted into the ocean.
Okay.
And I remember I was like, I played all kinds of sports when I was a kid. I was in really good shape. I was had good control over my body, so I felt very, very confident. And I was climbing and I was doing fine, but then I guess I just grabbed what looked like stone and felt solid. But as soon as I put a bit of weight on it, it ended up just chipping off.
Oh.
And I started to fall, and my buddy real quick just grabbed my wrist and gave me just enough time to get settled on the wall again and climb up. And that was that.
Mad that he caught you.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Wow. Near misses, eh? We don't
Yeah.
count the near misses.
Yeah.
As what my mom always says. We don't count them.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really have to pee, so I will be right back.
Okay.
Please take me off screen because I don't have
Oh
that
yes,
ability.
you don't have that ability. Okay, bye. Nice settlement. Every little helps. Seas dead peeps, you're on it with the puns tonight. Okay, we got a story from Kimmersby. When my little brother was still a baby, mum was walking back after dropping me off at playgroup when a local soft drink company van lost control and rained glass bottles onto my mum and brother in his pram. Mum was cut and bruised, little brother thankfully saved by the pram, but if I had been there, then I'd have been battered because I used to sit in the tray under the baby seat. The pram was destroyed. Fuck. That's terrifying. That's really, really terrifying. I mean, that sounds like a real freak accident then, though, a van losing control. I'm not saying, though, as if I'm trying to diminish the accident, but it doesn't sound like the kind of thing that would happen again. It even destroyed a wall. Jesus. At least I hope it hasn't happened frequently with those particular vans. Maybe there's a design fault. Maybe you could have sued. Who knows? I don't know so many near misses in my family. Well, that's good. You don't, as we say, we don't count the near misses. I don't know if anybody's ever had an opportunity pass them by to potentially sue someone, but I fell in a work environment once. I fell in a kitchen, and they bought your mom a new pram as a settlement. Okay, well, at least they did that, I guess. David Hoare is here. Welcome in, David Hoare, and Baldy. Welcome in. A new pram as a settlement. I know that a friend of mine, she had her car written off because a cow walked into it. I'm very blurry, aren't I? My lighting is not great, so it's not picking up my face separate from the beige background. I should have worn a different color because I'm just all beige. But anyway, yeah, I'm slightly blurry, I think. But yeah, a cow walked into her car on the road. I mean, it was on one of my Instagram stories during the week. There is frequently a cow on the road in West Cork, and they just get out sometimes. But yeah, I don't know if you've ever encountered a cow. They're very large. They're bigger than you think they are. I'm gonna have to sneeze again, I think. Yeah, I sneezed. I was today years old when I found out that Ashley wasn't a wall. Thank you, David Hoare. That makes me feel great about myself. Yeah, she got given a new car though. The farmer bought her a new car so that she wouldn't sue him, because apparently that cow had mad cow disease and was supposed to be put to sleep. Chris is back. Speaking of mad cow disease, sorry.
Hey, moo. That's nuts. Man, I forgot about that. I was listening the whole time while I was there, and all I could think is that truck that almost hit Kimmer's mom probably had 3 fucking tires. Went out.
That took me too long to process. Maybe it did. Maybe it only had 3 tires, and that's why maybe that's why we don't have 3-tired vans anymore.
Yeah, Mr. Bean was the last. That's why he was so
Has
ridiculous.
Hastings' pig hitting story been told on stream? I don't
think so.
Think so, but that's probably because it's part of the show. I think. I'm not entirely certain, but I think that's, we got to keep some things, you got to have some content when you come to see us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what that's about. I don't think I've heard that.
I think I know it. Is it, or am I getting it mixed up with something else? Maybe I don't remember, but I actually don't remember. But I remember there being a story about a pig, and I think it's in the show that he's currently writing, but I'm not entirely certain of that.
Gotcha. Baldy's got one. A tractor wheel fell off a tractor, rolled down the hill, and hit my mate's girlfriend one lunchtime. Damn,
that's horrific. Was she okay?
That's like how Maud Flanders died. Baldy, she was okay, but she totally did that Prometheus thing of running away from it rather than moving to the
side. Oh no, that's terrible. That's really terrible.
So funny.
My dad was at the top of a ladder 3 stories up. This is from Boomstickery. The guy holding it moved away, and my dad and the ladder went right down. He landed with his knee poking through the rungs. That does not sound like it's supposed to be not pleasant.
I just okay. So I just remembered one where I dodged something, and I used to paint houses for a little while, and there was this
paint houses.
Hey, and always eggshell. You know what I'm saying? And
that was silly.
And I read this ladder was like like a 3-4 story ladder. It was huge, and the guy that was trying to set it up fucked it up, and the weight went over the fulcrum, and so it started falling back. It was falling back towards me, and I didn't have time, and I could have jumped to either side, but it was moving really fast, and so I just eyed it up, and then I stood in place, and I Buster Keatoned it, and it just fell around me. I had.
Oh my god.
I remember my friend was like, "Did you just do that?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was standing there. There was this huge ladder that was just like around. Might not have been a ladder because the hole would have been big. It was whatever it was. The hole was big enough for me to just zip through.
Oh, that's really funny. That's quite funny. I actually, to come back to this pig story, John did tell this on the podcast. This is not in his show. He told this on the podcast.
Oh, okay. I don't remember it.
And I also just realized that the other pig story I'm thinking about was Garrett Millerick's pig story, about his friend defrosting a whole pig for a party.
Oh yeah, that's right. Is that the one where they all threw up all over the backyard?
I think it's the one where they all end up shitting themselves. Yeah. And he has to like clean it off the outside of the building or something.
Yes. There was a plumbing issue. That was a lot. There was a lot going on there.
There's a lot in that story.
There was a lot
Yeah.
going. Oh, David, you're right. Maud was shot by a t-shirt cannon. What character was hit by a weird wheel? Doesn't matter. The
I
last
feel like
thing
we're
I
all
told her
lucky to
was
be
no
alive for different
footlongs.
reasons.
Um,
What?
yeah, oh, that's a thing that Ned Flanders, after his wife dies,
Ah,
he goes, "The
okay.
last thing I said to her was no footlongs."
Oh dear. What a terrible way to die.
Yeah, by t-shirt cannon. God
Yeah.
damn.
That's so silly. I was watching during the week I watched Bridgerton.
Oh,
Uh
how is it? Is it okay without the Dreamboat lead from the first season?
It is because there's new like everyone in it is a dreamboat, to be fair. So they were able to keep the sexual tension, as it were.
I heard it's even
Um
tenser this season. I heard they
Do you know
doubled
what?
down on
I
the
do not
tension.
agree. I thought the first season was much sexier, but
Oh,
this season
okay.
I did enjoy it, but the first series was much sexier, I thought.
Huh.
Yeah, there was more sex in the first series. Like
Well, yeah. So I think that's what I heard was like they don't have as much sex in this one, but that's what makes it so hot. But
hmm,
I haven't watched a second of Bridgerton. I don't know. I don't even know what accent the characters have. I assume British. It looks like
it
a
is
British
British,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
very
Yeah, that
British.
checks out. Yeah.
And you know, I get why people don't enjoy period dramas. It is all very, oh, poor rich people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I find that they can be kind of good. And this one it's short enough. Like Downton
Mm,
Abbey dragged on a bit. I really lost Downton Abbey somewhere along the way. But
okay.
Bridgerton is nice and short and sweet, and it's good. But yeah, one of the characters it's very new, so maybe I shouldn't talk about what happens in it because it's kind of spoilery.
I mean I don't
Mm.
care, but
Does
viewers
anyone
may.
care? If you care, stop listening for just a few minutes, and then just tune back in, and hopefully I will have said it. So this is your warning right now. Stop listening. Yeah, one of the characters dies he gets a massive allergic reaction to a bee sting.
Like in
And
My Girl,
I've never seen My Girl.
he doesn't have his glasses on. He can't see without his glasses. You
Oh
haven't seen My Girl? Oh my God,
no.
it's such a heartbreaking scene. Well, I just ruined the end of My Girl for you, but it came out in the 80s, so that's on you.
That's fair enough. I'll also forget probably by the time I actually see it. But if you don't want to know the plot, look away now. Yeah, that's I'm done with it now, pretty much. But it's it's just like, oh, some people can just die for silly reasons, you know.
Yeah, that
And
shit just happens, man.
yeah, people just die all the time, and Oh well.
To quote Jay-Z, on to the next one.
On to the next one, exactly. My Girl 2 is apparently not worth it, according to Diamond Geyser.
How could it be? That first one was such a
Does
beautiful little
I'm
childhood
sorry,
love story.
how Stewface has spelt Macaulay is quite funny. Macaulay Culkins.
That's very
I'm really
sweet.
sorry. I try not to laugh at spelling errors because I know that people sometimes don't care, sometimes have spelling difficulties, but that's
Yeah.
just quite funny.
It's very sweet,
Macaulay
but it works.
Culkins.
Like phonetically, it absolutely works.
I still know who you're talking about.
100%. You would never doubt who that is. But it is,
That's
you
excellent.
absolutely made that spelling your own, Stewface.
Yeah, I really enjoy that, and I never want to make anybody feel self-conscious about anything. I had no idea how to write it. I just had to desperately throw out phonetics. If
It
in doubt,
worked.
desperately
You nailed
throw
it.
out phonetics.
Yeah,
I
you
mean, you got
absolutely
it,
nailed it.
sort of.
So funny.
If I die from a bee sting, can Ashley do my eulogy? So you actually could die from a bee sting. That's terrifying.
You'll just
I
be
never
like,
got
nah.
stung. I never got stung by a bee until I was 26, I think.
Yeah, I
And
don't
so
think
I
I've
was
ever
always
been
kind of
stung by a bee.
afraid I was allergic to them without knowing.
Yeah, I still might be. I got a wasp when I was little. I was on the monkey bars, and a wasp was on the monkey bar, and my hand came down, and the wasp, understandably, stung me in the hand because it thought it was being attacked. I
Yeah.
can't even be mad at this wasp, but it was it reminded me of, or I guess later on it reminded me of being punched in the face, because like being punched in the face when you're stung by a wasp, you've got this idea in your head as a kid that it's like it's the worst pain ever, and you just go, oh, I mean that hurts, but it's not. I'm not gonna run around with like a big glowing thumb like in a cartoon or something. Like I'm okay. It's just
Yeah.
my fucking hand hurt.
Yeah.
And it was, I remember it was the same for being punched in the face. You go, oh, is that it? All right, that's okay. Okay, all right.
Yeah. When I got stung by a bee, the time that I did, it took me 2 days to realize that's what it was. So I had gone out for a walk, and it was at a time of the year where there was a load of daisies, and so along on the walk, I just started making a daisy chain as I was going along. And because I'm adorable, I put it in my hair. And then I started to get loads of bees around me. And I was kind of trying to just gently flick them away, and then I eventually just chucked the daisies out. But then I had this little like spot on my hand for a few days, and I was just like, what is with this spot? Like, what? It's really sort of big and sore. And then I was just like, oh, it's a bee sting. Yeah.
Got said Sees Dead Peep says I had a wasp fly into my shoe and sting me on the bottom of my foot.
That happened to my
Sky
brother. That happened to my
sucks.
brother, and then when he reached down to try and get the shoe off and get the wasp out, it stung him on his finger.
Yep, that checks
Yeah.
out. I had one that I would say is physically not as bad, but psychologically much worse. Where I put on slippers that I hadn't worn in a while. They were my favorite Batman slippers. I was like 5, and I loved these slippers. And apparently a bunch of spiders had made their home in there. And so I put my foot in, and a bunch of spiders ran out over my foot and ankles and escaping. And I think probably for about 10 years, I didn't put shoes on without checking for spiders.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad day. It was a bad day.
I've told this story on the show before about why I hate flies, haven't I?
I can't remember.
Let's relive it, shall we?
Yay!
I absolutely hate flies, especially the big fat blue bottle ones. They are just foul. I can't deal with them. I can deal with wasps and bees just about.
Hmm.
Bees I'm fine with. Wasps I can deal with. Flies, get away from me. So there's two events. When I was about 6 years old, I was in the playground at school and I was running around having a carefree existence when a fly flew into my eye, and it was a big, huge blue bottle fly, and it got stuck under the lid of my eye.
Oh yeah.
It got stuck there to the point where I couldn't get it out. I had to go in, like, friends at this point were getting teachers, and I had to go in, and I don't remember how it got out, but I know that teachers had to help that happen. And I remember it being there, though. I just remember that.
Oh, and it's wriggling because it's struggling to try to get
yeah.
out. It's right up against your eye, and your eyelid's probably like
Yeah,
twitching
I think
out.
it was like on the outside of this eye.
And you're little, so you don't know how attached your skin is. So, like, is it going to go into your face? Is that how the face works?
Yeah, it's
Oof.
really scary. And I think
Boom.
maybe around the same time I had seen The Mummy. And I don't know if you remember The Mummy, but I can never
yeah.
watch that movie again because the scarabs emotionally scared me. Like, that movie scared me so much. The scarabs thing, it just it just really freaked me out. It still freaks me out. Like, I still dream that. And I have not seen that movie in 20
wow.
years.
Damn.
And I still
gonna-
think like there's some movies that I just cannot unsee, and that's one of them. But the second event that makes me despise flies is when I was 20. I was 20, living in the Czech Republic.
Oh
and I lived
no,
by
never
myself.
good stories. Never good stories.
Never good
If
stories.
you're
That's the
if you're
one
new to
part
the
of my life I
podcast,
would completely remove and put in the bin.
anything that happens in Prague is negative. It's always bad.
Everything was terrible. Everything was terrible. It's a black mark on my
God.
existence.
I just remembered that woman that you worked with. Oh my god. Sorry.
What woman that I worked with?
Was it your
There were so
boss? The
many.
one that sort of like befriended you, but then
Yeah, totally emotionally manipulated me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot I told you that.
Yeah.
I said that on the show, I'd say. So Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, though, it's a
Stunning.
it
So hot.
almost cancels out the scarabs,
So
but
hot.
not quite. I just remembered you shitting in IKEA. Look, lads, if this show is not just a collection of my trauma, then I don't know what you're here for. Like, I don't know what you're expecting.
Passed out.
What is my life?
Totally naked, faint shitting in an IKEA. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that one
Makes for a great poster though. If you can recreate that moment.
That would be a good poster.
What is this? Come to the show if you
The
want
whole
this
name
image
of the show is
explained.
just I shot myself in an IKEA.
I shat myself unconscious in an IKEA. That's
Yes. Oh no.
so sorry, the Prague flies.
So the flies in Prague. So I was living by myself. I had a beautiful apartment. The apartment had two kind of sections. There was the living area, kitchen and sitting area, and then there was the bedroom and bathroom area. And they were kind of alongside one another, and at the end was the balcony. I had a balcony, and both rooms out had these huge doors out onto the balcony. It was lush because the cost of living in Prague was much lower than it is in the UK. Beautiful apartment, and however, at one point I found some maggots in around my bin area. Now it was disgusting, but I'm a grown up. I cleaned it up, got rid of it all, sprayed a load of cleaning agent and stuff. Or so I thought, because that happened, I think about a week before I went back to Ireland for a week or two. I think I went back to Ireland for 2 weeks. And this was in July, so it was like warm in Prague. And I came back to my apartment and I walked in, and the big, huge glass door out onto my balcony was blacked out with blue bottle flies, like a blackout blind
Wow. Like the
with
mummy.
flies, like the mummy. It was genuinely like a horror movie. It was horrific.
Wow.
They must have been in like under the floorboards, like a load more maggots or something, because they'd
Yeah.
obviously just hatched and come out while I was gone away, and they were just they blacked out the window. Now, as horrific as it was surprisingly easy to get rid of them because they'd clearly been trying to get out so much that once I opened the window, they just flew out.
Nice.
And the ones that didn't were dead, so I just like sweeped them down off the window and sweeped them out of the balcony. It was really genuinely horrific though. I cried so much. I was so lucky I had kept the door to my bedroom closed, because if they had been in the bedroom as well, I would not have been able to sleep there.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know?
I remember, I think I've talked about this on here, but in the house that I used to live in London, we got these like moths somehow. They were like grain moths, not clothes moths, but they eat like rice and stuff. And
Okay.
sometimes just they just show up, and you don't know how you did it. But I remember I think I was in Norway doing shows, and I was sitting on a balcony in this beautiful house that they'd rented us. I was like a rooftop balcony on a sunny day, and I had a beer and my joke book, and I was smoking a cigarette. Having a wonderful time, and I got a message from Sadaf, and she said that her and Evelyn Mock, because Evelyn was living with us at the time, had just been scraping moth larvae off the kitchen roof.
Oh no.
It was covered in moth larvae. And so they both just put on their raincoats and did up the hoods, and then just had to scrape this shit off.
That's horrific.
And
That's
because
so
like
bad.
Sadaf's sort of similar to me in that like she doesn't really panic in those situations, whereas Evelyn was having a time. And so a lot of it was Sadaf scraping moth larvae off the ceiling, while Evelyn went, no.
That's oh no, that's disgusting. Larva has to be the worst word in the English language though, right?
I think it's up there. It's because
up
it's like it's
there.
also it's got a consistency. Like when you hear larva,
You sort of feel
you
it
not only
wriggle.
see the squish, but yeah, you see the wriggle. There's movement
Yeah.
to it. It's like an onomatopoeic word, but
Yeah.
for texture and movement. It's not about
And
the
it
sound, but
has
you also
it's
hear a
sort
bit of
of
a squish.
yeah, you feel like you hear it and see it and feel it and smell it all at once. And it's the word almost has like a creature living inside it.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like larva
Ugh,
is full of larvae.
exactly.
It's
It's
like,
the worst word
if I say it, they're gonna come out
ever.
of my mouth.
It's so gross. I hate that word. I remember my Debs. Debs is the Irish equivalent of prom.
Oh yeah.
And I had my date came with me, who was just a friend I brought along. But we were meant to sleep in my bedroom. I had a single bed at the time, and there was like a bed made out on the floor, right? It wasn't like that, Christopher. My parents were home. So we were meant to sleep in my bed with me on the bed, him on the floor. That was the arrangement. But in getting ready to go to my Debs, I had inadvertently left a lamp on and a window open.
No.
And we came back, and I've never seen it before or since, but there was just these little flies had formed like a plague up around the lamp. It was all in the bulb, it was all around the shade, it was all on the dresser, all on the pillow of my bed, and almost onto the floor. Like
Oh my god.
I've left lamps on in Ireland before, and it's just been a few moths and a few flies, and you're pissed off, but like you'll get over it. But this
Yeah.
was just the two of us were just like, we cannot sleep in here. And so we ended up sleeping in the guest bedroom, which was a double bed together. And my mother very awkwardly the next day was like, why were you sleeping in the other bedroom? And I literally just walked her into my bedroom and showed her, and she was like, I have no more questions. That's completely fair.
It's because of the plague, mother.
Yes. And it like they sort of just came in and died, I think, because they didn't move. And I had to
Weird.
just hoover them up.
Something must have just hatched. It must have just been poor
Maybe.
timing where like a bunch of eggs just hatched and they all went light, boom, and that
Yeah.
was a
And
wrap
just
on
didn't
them.
get any sustenance to stay alive or anything because
Yeah.
yeah, I just hoovered them up and it ended up being fine. Like I cleaned my bed sheets and stuff. I'm not crazy. But yeah, it was so weird. Ashley keeps getting cured with plagues, but because she was brought up atheist, she's oblivious.
Cursed with plagues.
Cursed with
Yeah.
plagues.
Stop annoying God, Ashley. That's the title of the episode.
I'll write it down so I don't forget it.
This was a pretty gross episode.
I know, right? I feel like this is what John gets for not being here.
There's a couple of facts that I want to put out there that I'm seeing in the chat.
Yes.
Boomstickery says look up maggots' faces.
No, I'm not doing that. I am not.
They have little faces, but you need an electron microscope to see them.
I really don't want to see them.
There's no way they're cute faces, right? They don't
No.
have like sweet little cheeks.
No, I feel like that would have been stated. That would have been like, they actually have surprisingly cute little faces. Instead, you're just like,
Yeah.
look up maggot faces. That is a threat, Boomstickery, and I don't appreciate it. I'm not doing that.
And then Ada answered that with that's up there with spiders having paws.
Spiders
Hate that.
can be cute, but I
Hate
don't like
paws?
that idea.
Mm-mm.
Paws. No.
No, that means they have
No.
toes. Spiders have so many toes.
John would have fainted.
Would have, yeah.
Yeah, so for everybody who's wondering, John is terrible at time zones. He was planning on being here, but totally messed that up.
I
Completely
still don't
messed that
understand what happened, but I was very tired when I
don't
read the
really
whole
either.
message chain. Okay,
And the
good.
whole
It's not just
message
me.
chain was sent from a John who had been allegedly and having a few drinks. So, I don't know that there was that much to understand. I just took it at I can't make the show.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
enough, But yeah, we'll have to relive all of this for him because he will love it. This is so up his street,
Yeah, we're gonna be like, hey man, maggots have tiny little faces. And
that should be the name of the episode, just so John is like, what?
And just hit him with I'll add the picture into the
Yes.
StreamYard of just a maggot
We'll
face. And we
send
can bring it
him
up.
images of people with their fingers sliced open, and we'll send him pictures of 3-wheel trolleys with babies dead in them. And
We'll just keep saying larva. Spend a lot of time larva.
I hate it so much. That is the worst word. It's the worst one. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
2 fangs too. Jesus.
I remember when I was on holiday in Spain. Did anyone tell? Oh my god, the big Edinburgh idea. I have not thought about that since we pressed end broadcast on the show last week.
Oh, really? I've thought about it a fair amount actually. I've got it
I
in my
completely
my
forgot it.
to-do list. Remind Ashley about the sleep show because I knew you'd forget. So I've got it. It's on like a
I
recurring
don't think
reminder.
I'm
But
gonna be able to do it.
I think it's very doable. We're
I
gonna we'll
don't
look into it, and even
wanna.
if we can get the ball rolling and someone else takes it over, that's fine. But I just think it's a cool
Yeah,
idea.
it is a cool idea. I feel like there's definitely a way to work it out where I don't actually have to commit to sleeping in a venue for a whole Fringe at a very specific time.
Yeah, but you'll do it anyway because it's more fun that way. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Oh, the big
You're gonna be.
lion. That's quite funny.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. You're gonna be so tired from having so much time in the sex room next door, though. You're gonna be because there's no
That's
sex in the
true.
sleep room and there's no sleep in the sex room. So you'll
Well,
be over
that's
in the
just
sex
it, isn't
room.
it? I can have a
Tire
sex show
yourself out.
before my sleep show so that I
Mhm.
don't miss out on any opportunities and get a good night's sleep still.
That's it. Yeah, you'll be all tuckered out.
I hate this. I was gonna say when I was in Spain once, this is the last bug story. We had a
Fucking no
cockroach
rubbing.
in the
Forgot
flat.
about
No fucking no rubbing. We had a cockroach in the flat. I know this like conversation naturally moved on, but I don't want to sleep in a venue, so I'm bringing it back to bugs.
Gotcha. You're sleeping in a venue though. Just know that. Just know.
Oh god. Do you know what? The accommodation situation is such that it's probably the only way I can be in Edinburgh.
Mhm.
But yeah, we had a cockroach in the flat and we were very afraid because there's so many videos of cockroaches just exploding with eggs or babies or something.
Okay.
And also cockroaches are very notoriously difficult to kill.
Mhm.
I don't know if that applies to Spanish cockroaches though. I feel like they're a bit more delicate because we seemed to kill it by accident. We were
Oh,
trying to
okay.
capture it so we could put it outside and then it just died. I think we sort of hit it a little bit with something, but we didn't think we'd killed it. So we left it under a bowl.
Mm.
And then we were about to just leave it there for the maid to deal with.
Mhm.
And the two of us have both worked as maids, so we were like, let's not be those people. Let's
Nice.
be grown-ups and deal with
Yep.
this before we leave the flat. And we lifted it up and it was dead. And so my friend is really like she's grand with touching bugs and stuff, but she was very much like, we won't catch it if it's alive. So yeah. But then it ended up being dead. So she just like picked it up and put it outside. And I was just like, nope.
Mm.
Not going anywhere near that. But yeah, we had a
Maybe.
whole note written to the maid being like, there's a cockroach under this bowl. We're really sorry. And we had it in English and in Spanish.
Nice.
And we drew a little picture of a cockroach on it as well.
That's maybe you found like
Um,
a cockroach pressure point, like just that one spot where you just
Maybe
poke
it
it,
was
and
dying anyway and it came in to die or something.
yeah, just wanted to spend its final moments with a couple of nice lasses, a couple of nice senoritas, and you
We're
killed them with
very
a bowl.
hospitable.
Ladies, let me
Um,
serenade you as my dying breath squash.
Just play La Cucaracha. Yeah, I mean, that is actually what cockroach is in Spanish. And every time I think about that, I get that song stuck in my head for several hours, if not days, if not weeks. And I'm gonna wake up singing it tomorrow.
I love when you find out the words to songs like that. The Macarena is a sad song,
Yeah.
and like the La Cucaracha, just about fucking cockroach. And like, and I don't know if you've watched Human Resources, the Big Mouth spinoff.
No.
But it just came out. But there's a scene where there's like a flashback with this like beautiful Spanish man serenading a beautiful Spanish woman, and it's got the subtitles underneath, and he's just singing the song to the Proclaimers' 500 Miles. He's just singing those words, but it sounds so beautiful in Spanish.
That's great.
It's so silly.
That's a very good joke. Whoever came up with that, that's very good.
They do. There are some great jokes in it. Yeah, Kimmers. I binged Human Resources yesterday, and it's awesome. Yeah, they did a really good job. One of the better spinoffs I've seen. Step Peep says it's about a woman who smoked lots of marijuana and crawled on her back like a cockroach.
Is that what that song is about?
La
That's so
cucaracha, la
funny.
cucaracha. This bitch can't handle her weed.
Oh God.
I think I hit a wall, and we're both sighing.
Yeah.
So should
we're both
we call it?
sighing. We've hit a wall. We have relived all our bug and freak accident related traumas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can tell that we're tired because it was all just like, oh, and then this happened. And then
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, we're running out of steam. Let me just bring up somebody for us to raid.
Cool. Folks, don't forget that the new Patreon episode is out. It was put up yesterday, so
Yes.
check that out if you haven't. It's a bunch of great stuff in there. That was a really fun one.
We have Fox Comedy.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
love
gonna head
Fox.
over to Fox. He's just got COVID. I don't know if he's out of COVID or not yet. But that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna go over to George Fox. He's my comedy wife. So treat him with a lot of derision and suspicion. He's fabulous. If you don't know him, give him a follow. Oh my god. Oh my god.
What's
Look
happening?
Who it is.
Oh, good morning.
Oh,
morning. We were
damn, just in
about to
time.
finish.
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
we're
That's what I was
just gonna
hoping
raid
for.
George. What's
I
up,
was
buddy?
so hoping. I was like, I turned you on as I woke up, and I was like, they're still going, and I was like, I have to shit, or this will be the worst show ever. So in there is a big shit, and I also took a shower. It was one of those morning shits where you're like, I better shower, and yeah, that took all of 5 minutes, and here I am.
Wow. What time is it there?
8 in the morning, 8 before 9. What time? Whatever time it is there, but 8 a.m.
Wait, 8 before 9? What are you talking about? Are you wake and baking now?
No, I just woke up. Like this is my coffee is full. These are my morning thoughts. It's 8:50.
8. Oh, okay.
So it's nearly 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So our show. So it starts at 7 a.m. Oh, you're gonna have 2 early Sundays, buddy. You got 2 early Sundays ahead of you.
It's too early Mondays with a solo show at 9:30 p.m. So we'll have to figure that out. Next week.
Gonna be nap times.
Yeah, that's next week's problem.
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
we have covered some ground.
What happened?
Yeah, you would have hated this episode.
You would have
You should
hated
be glad
this
that you were
episode.
done. There was
what
a lot of
happened now?
gross.
What did we
There
talk
was a
about
lot
with
of gross.
Ashley's body?
A lot of
There was
injuries, a lot of
there was
bugs.
A lot of bugs. A
lot
lot
of
of
yuck.
injuries.
Yeah,
A lot of
larva.
yuckiness. So much larva.
Yeah, you would have hated it.
I'm really glad I didn't get up at. If I had gotten up at 7 a.m. and then Ashley started talking about larva coming out of her ear holes at 11, I would have thrown up on my own dick. Nope, don't go get that. Whatever you're going to get, don't get that. Oh, this is so much better. Yeah, totally go get that. Was that dog there the whole time?
Whole time.
Yeah.
Ashley, is that the dog from Silence of the Lambs?
This is Dizzy. She was barking earlier, so I had to run down and get her. And then she sat with me for a while, and then she got too hot, so she had to go sit on the floor. And now she's very, very upset that I've woken her up to show her to you.
Does anyone else really feel like we can see Ashley living in rural Ireland, like with like 8 dogs that all have a backstory? This is Baxter. He's blind but can see. This is Patriot. We named him ironically because that's when Trump got elected again. She got that dog in 2024. And then that's this is I was trying to think of another Irishy politician, but I could. Michael D. Higgins. Go fuck yourselves. What other things were covered, guys? Let's do the post-show ramble here on the show.
I did actually go through all of the reasons that my dogs bark. They all have their own individual reasons for barking.
I've been really
We
proving
talked
my
about
point there.
dads with great reflexes in times
Yeah.
of great need.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dad's
very
saving
good.
babies.
In the same way that a single mom will just drive anywhere. Like if my mom is actively feels better that I live in Los Angeles than England, because if there's anything bad, she can drive to Los Angeles, and any single mom will just drive anywhere. If I said to my mom, "I need you to drive me to Rio de Janeiro," she'd be like, "We'll stop for coffee." That's it.
Oh, we talked about accidents. We talked about there was the
Yeah.
truck that went over. There was your trolley. There was
Yeah.
there was the tractor
Several
wheel that
people
chased down
slicing their
Baldy's
fingers
friend.
off.
Oh,
Yeah.
You had a wine glass in your hand at one point.
That's right.
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Yeah. As in,
Oh, it
like
means
the
exactly
stem
what
of a
you
wine
think it
glass
means.
stabbed right down into my hand.
Being a bartender, the classic, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw an
Yeah,
accident
it was
recently. Well,
eventful.
not an accident. I
covered
saw
a
two
lot of
people that
ground.
were on a Lime scooter sharing it, and there were like a giant bunch of police at the end of the road that they were driving on, and I was just like, "How's this going to play out?" And then all the cops just looked and then just made a line, and then the woman just immediately started crying, and I'm like, "Well, we're all playing our moves today. Very good, gentlemen."
Oh, we talked about halloumi. We talked about halloumi for a little
Yeah,
while.
talked about halloumi.
Did you know that
Oh, and
Chris had
talking your way
worked
into
in a
places, yeah.
halloumi van?
Say that again about Chris.
That he worked in a halloumi van.
I didn't know that, but I don't act surprised. I
He
just like
said
if you
it,
were like,
and then I had to say I don't know. The rest of the story can wait. Let's circle back to the fact that you worked in a halloumi van.
here's my question: and is it a van made of halloumi that sold other things, or is it a van that dispenses halloumi?
Such a squeaky van. Oh my god!
I got to tell you, you can. The chat is with me. Chris is the kind of guy that would be like, "Well, it was a van made of halloumi," because I have friends that make bad business decisions.
Yeah, I
And Chris
do
is the
have
kind
that.
of guy who can
Oh,
have
I
a
know that
major
story.
injury
That is a good
Yeah.
story,
and
actually.
still
yeah,
got
yeah.
his hole.
No, the halloumi stand was
I
a Glastonbury.
am
We had
the
a
dog
glorious
cat
time.
lady.
Yeah.
Actually,
That is
yes,
true.
that is true, Andrew Foster. Here's
Yeah.
the thing with having sex with any type of injury is that you always have one friend who remembers it and gets fascinated forever. So, Chris, do you have any friends that with that story is like, what?
No, because no one was around. So it happened after we'd shut the
Oh,
bar.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I have one where at Glastonbury, actually, when I was working at the halloumi stand, where I tried to send a girl home, and because I was like, we shouldn't sleep together, and I was telling her all the reasons we shouldn't, and then she just looked me in the eye and then just grabbed my penis and led me to her tent.
I gotta tell you,
Literally
that's all-
led by the dick. Literally.
I have a question.
And
Wow.
How much
friends will bring that
halloumi?
one up.
Were there
pretty
any
regularly.
halloumi squeaks when she went like, and then you just heard
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
Ashley.
Yes.
Queen.
Sit down. Go and sit down.
Okay, I am exhausted, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that
go.
Yes.
Guys,
We
I
were
love
about to
you.
wrap it up.
Yeah, please wrap
I
up.
love
I just
you.
wanted to pop in and say I love you all. I'm sorry for all of this math. We will figure it out.
We
Next
will.
week, guys, I'm just doing blow. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Straight through crew. Straight through crew. Straight. Everyone with me. Straight through crew. Nothing sadder than a guy who can't get a chant going.
Yeah. That's...
Did you remove him or did he just
I
quit?
removed him.
Not even here. 10 minutes removed from the stream.
Yeah.
It's called
I love you
efficiency
guys.
bets. It's called efficiency. Guys, let's
It's
end
so
this
good
show
to
so
see
Chris
you.
can sleep.
I'm glad you
Yes.
liked my album. That was very nice to hear.
Oh yeah, that's why I came on here. Everyone, Chris's album is annoyingly good, and also I'm really glad I listened to it after I did 2 of my shows, or I would have been like, "Well, I'm fucked," because Chris fucking pulled a. That horse joke should not work. That should not work.
and yet.
Yeah, very frustrating. Everyone, look forward to seeing Chris's new album, "Take a Bets on Chris," coming out at
No,
Yeah,
get him
yeah,
off
yeah,
the
that-
screen.
Bye. Bye. And hold on.
Penis into her vagina. That's all. That's all. And that's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to the woman, and now his sperm is in her. Maybe you're wondering if a mistake could be made when having sexual intercourse. That can't happen.